I was just gonna say for reference, like Iowa was at 873 feet, I think. We are at 5,312 feet. So we're almost
Wow.
a mile above
Oh my
sea level.
God.
So it's a lot higher. And you don't realize it until you've come from non-high elevation to here. And it really hits some people hard. So I always kind of prepare people.
All right. Welcome to another episode of Raising an Archer. I am, of course, Wendi Cook, and I have with me two people who are coming to us from Albuquerque, New Mexico, which is where we are headed. I will be leaving out on Monday, so within just a few days. And Joe will be leaving, I think, shortly after me. And then we have Albuquerque Hit or Miss Archery on the line with us. Guys, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Go ahead, Jen.
Okay, I'm Jenifer, and I am a level 2 USA Archery coach. I work for Hit or Miss Archery Center. I do mainly events and online stuff. So we run a lot of our own tournaments as well, indoor mainly. So I am a big part of helping put those on. But I will be out at Nationals. We'll have a booth there. So I'll be out there as well as many of our kids from our JOAD team.
Sweet. All right. And next we have.
I'm Neil Overbay and owner of Hit or Miss Archery Center, and excited for Nationals to be here in Albuquerque. It's kind of a big deal for New Mexico archery. The sport has definitely been growing a little bit over the last 5 or 6 years. We've seen more and more participants showing up to these shoots, so we're excited for you guys to be here.
Is this one of the largest that you will have there in Albuquerque?
I think this will definitely be the largest event that's ever been in New Mexico.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right. Now I have one question because it is on the hot air balloon field. And I've never even heard of such a hot air balloon field. Will there be hot air balloons while we're there?
Probably not, unfortunately, but it is the world's
Okay.
largest hot air balloon festival is what we have here. It's New Mexico Balloon Fiesta, and it is on there. It is on that park, which is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I was hoping we'd see some hot air balloons. When we shoot in where is it, Arizona, we get to see them every morning. They don't lift off from those fields, but somewhere around there they do. All right. So as we just mentioned, we are talking about JOAD Nationals, which is going to be on the fields, the hot air balloon fields in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It is going to be hot. And so that's some of the things that we're going to be talking about. Maybe you guys can even tell us, is it for those of us who are driving, is it well marked whenever we're heading in?
Actually, like the signs for Balloon Fiesta Park, there's actually an exit. No matter which way you're coming in, it'll show you an exit to say, Balloon Fiesta Park or whatever. So it's a pretty easy place to get to. It's right off of I-25, so it's not hard to find for sure. It is going to be hot, and what's weird about the Balloon Fiesta Park is even with a little bit of wind, that seems like the wind is always changing. So we've been out there several times. We had our state tournament this year, and my son was shooting it, and you would see the wind blowing, to the west, and then they'd go pull their arrows and he'd come back and he'd say, I have to compensate for it. And then all of a sudden it'd be blowing to the east. So it's just,
Oh, wow.
and it's weird how it just changes on that park because it's just flat and you wouldn't think that there's much that would make that wind change, but it definitely changes.
So I
That
was
is good to
told,
know.
I was told that in the morning normally it's calm and and easy, and then when it comes to the afternoon, the wind will pick up and it's going to be wild. I'm not sure if that's true, but quite a number of people was telling me about that.
I think that's pretty true. Like, there's been some practice in the evenings over there, and it seems like it's been doing that. We had a cancel practice the other day because lightning was hitting all around, and it was super, super windy.
Okay, all right. So lightning was hitting all around. It was super, super windy. I had to cancel practice.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That sounds like kind of like Texas. Kind of sounds like when they used to have it in Decatur, Alabama. We're kind of used to that, huh, Joe?
Yeah. It's well, but except this time it's going to be hot and windy and with rain.
Oh man, I haven't even looked at the forecast. Well, we're dealing with the aftermath of the hurricanes, so I haven't even been able to get on the Weather Channel to check and see. Just because of lack of internet. We somewhat got internet service today at 9:30 this morning, but still not fully up and running. All right. So, like you guys said, y'all are with Hit or Miss. Neil, you own Hit or Miss, and Jenifer, you work there. Tell me a little bit about Hit or Miss. Will you guys be open during all of this? How far away are you from the tournament?
We're probably only about, I don't know, 10 to 15 minutes at the most from Balloon Fiesta Park. We will be open. We've brought in some extra staff. We're going to have a booth at Balloon Fiesta Park. Jen will be there along with Julie, my wife, and we'll have a technician out there or myself, one or the other. And then we'll have plenty of staff at Hit or Miss Archery Center. And we do have a long range. We have 56 yards indoor. So if somebody needs to come and, check their site from a plane flight or anything like that, we definitely have the room to accommodate that. So it's pretty neat.
Nice. So 57 yards, Hit or Miss Archery, and you're about 10, 15 minutes away. You're going to have a booth there at the fields with a technician. That is always good to know because there are, equipment failures that happen. And we were supposed to go get new strings put on this week, just on my daughter's bow. And yeah, that didn't happen. Other things have happened. So
Yeah.
we might have to, never know what we might have to do or stop by and see you guys. All right. So you're a full service shop around there, it sounds like.
We are, yeah, full service shop, sales, service, and then our range. So we stay pretty busy with doing a little bit of all of it.
Wonderful. Now, what are some fun things to do for families? Because normally, whenever we go to an archery tournament, when we travel, we try to make it kind of like a family thing, because paying for a travel trip and then paying for vacations is not always feasible, especially if you've got multiple kids and you've got multiple kids in multiple sports. Like I do, then we try to find some fun things to do. What can you tell me about Albuquerque?
We're really known for our food. We've got
I
we've
like
got pretty
food.
good food here. But some of the fun things to do, we had until recently the world's longest tram. So not too far. You can take the tram up from, basically Albuquerque, it'll be right on the edge of the city all the way up to the top of the Sandia Mountains. And they have restaurants and stuff up there. That's pretty cool. There's a restaurant at the bottom as well, a little barbecue place that's pretty close. And then we have ice skating, and probably one of the funnest things to do is come to Hit or Miss Archery Center. That's what we think anyway. But yeah, there's some things to do around town. We've got Top Golf and some other things like that for families to do.
Nice. Yeah, we've got Top Golf in Houston. But I did hear about, the sites there, and I'm hoping to have some time to be able to go and do those things. And then I wanted to kind of talk about that move. How did you just jump on a bid to get JOAD Nationals to Albuquerque? How did all of that play out?
Actually, Mandy Griego, I don't know if you know her.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I judge with her. Yep.
Yeah. So Mandy's actually the one that kind of waved her magic wand, and I don't know how she did that, but she was so excited. She's been fighting for it for a little while to have it here. She does such a great job with just helping out in USA Archery in general in the state of New Mexico. And she would know more about that exactly. Maybe Jen knows a little bit because her and Mandy talked quite a bit about how all that happened. But she came back from some event and she was so excited telling us that there was a chance. And then when it happened, she was even more excited. Couldn't wait to come in and tell us that that it was going to be here. So
Yeah, I think it kind of started in Iowa last year if you were at nationals there.
Yes, I judged nationals last year in
Yeah,
Iowa.
so it was kind of apparent we kind of needed a little bit more space. And so she kind of
Yes.
started talking with some of the, higher ups with USA Archery, and we always have our state outdoor at Bloom Fiesta Park. And it's hard to put into words if you've never been to the International Bloom Fiesta, but it is a huge, open, flat, grassy field. I mean, because balloons take up a lot of space and you have hundreds
Right.
of them up in October every year. So it is just like ideal, but it's hard to put it into words. And so some officials were here, I think maybe for our indoor nationals, and Mandy took them out there to show them. And when they saw it, they were just like, okay, yes, this is going to work. There's just more space than we need. And so I'm glad that them seeing it just kind of put it into action. And yeah, the city of Albuquerque worked really well with them getting the deal, and yeah, just got it on the book. So we're really hoping that it'll kind of take off and everybody will be happy with it here. And because there's definitely room to grow. I think we can hold a lot more archers than are even registered. That, I think we could even double it and be fine too. So we're excited to have everybody here.
Go ahead.
And I just said we're just excited to have everybody here. It's gonna be fun.
Yes, we're excited to be there as far as officials and the USA Archery folks that I have spoken to about it. And yes, it looks like you can have lots more people because looking at the layout that they have sent us, there's just open space. Now, I know that, and you may not know, but one of the questions is going to be, are there going to be porta potties on each field?
I'm not sure each field, but they, because of the Bloom Fiesta, they're used to having a lot available because we have like tens of thousands of people who come for that. So yeah, they'll be there. There's gonna be food trucks. I know that. There'll be lots of food. I mean, there are food places within driving distance, but it's a little inconvenient to leave the field once you're there and parked.
Right.
So making sure there's enough there so that people have what they'll need and they won't need to keep leaving and coming back, so.
Yeah, based on the brochure they sent out today from US Archery, they do have it says toilets here. I assume it's going to be the portable ones. Like it's kind of just along the field for each of the field. And the beauty of the layout is everybody is all together. So it's not like we are all scattering around different places. It's make it difficult to train. Like when you have youth archers from all different ages, right? And you are at all different fields. It looks like it's pretty easy to get to, depending, like from all different distances. So which is great.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't gotten that email yet. You would think I would, but it's probably just because of lack of internet. If that's all I have to deal with, well, I do have a hole in my roof, but if I keep telling people, people and pets are good. So we're gonna keep rolling. All right. So tell me about the elevation.
Okay, so go ahead.
Go ahead, Jen.
I was just going to say, for reference, like Iowa was at 873 feet, I think. We are at 5,312 feet. So we're almost above.
Oh my God.
So it's a lot higher. And you don't realize it until you've come from non-high elevation to here. And it really hits some people hard. So I always kind of prepare people, like there is a real thing as elevation sickness. And so it's like you got to kind of take things slower here, I guess, when you first arrive. So
how does that compare to like Phoenix? Do you know?
Man, I'm not sure what the elevation of Phoenix is. Let's see.
Me and my daughter, we went to a Zach Williams concert a while back, and they were up there during the concert singing, and we kept seeing them pick up these cans and suck on these cans, and we're like, "What the heck is it? I wonder what they're doing." And then all of a sudden,
Oxygen?
Zach Williams said, "Hey, we just want to let you guys know, we're not doing anything crazy up here. This is actually oxygen, and we got our whole band and everybody. We got elevation sickness, so we're up here sucking on oxygen, trying to survive."
Wow.
So Phoenix is at 1,086 feet. So we're still like 4,000 feet higher than them. So
oh my goodness.
So how do people prepare for that?
Just be prepared for like kind of feeling a little lightheaded, and you definitely need to drink more water. I mean, not just elevation too, but like how hot it is. Although I don't know,
Right.
look at the temperatures, we're not going to be as hot as we could be for July, so that's a plus. And there might be a little bit of storms early in the week, but I hope not later when the shooting's going to start. But it's just kind of being like, just be mindful that you might like be short of breath, you might be a little dizzy. And those are like, it's totally normal, but sometimes it takes like 24 hours to just get used to it. So just kind of like
Okay.
rest and relax your first couple days, you know.
So what kind of clothes do you recommend? Because by reading the weather forecast, it goes from 68 degrees, for example, to all the way to 99 degrees. It's kind of interesting, right? In the morning, you probably need a jacket, a light jacket,
It's
and
possible.
you know,
Yeah, depending on, you know, if you're like, yeah, the early shooting times, you might want to just layer a little bit, but it's definitely gonna get hot, and I would definitely do shorts and like, you know, breathable clothes. Just it'll be warm because there, you know, there's not shade there, other than of course there'll be the tents and things that USA Archery is putting up, but it's right in the wide open sun. So
Yeah, there's no trees around.
Yeah,
no.
there's no trees, there's no shade whatsoever on Fiesta Park. So anybody, that's coming, umbrellas or any type of shade or anything they can do to keep themselves cool. We actually hit or miss. We purchased a bunch of those cooling towels and even some of those oxygen cans. So we'll have them at our booth. If anybody feels like they need them, they'll be right there. We're going to be selling them to help you guys out. So
All right. And will you be cash, card, both?
both.
Okay. And how much will we all pretty much know about cooling towels, but the cans of oxygen. I'm a little older. I might be needing some of that canned oxygen. I'm starting to get a little scared. So how
Yeah,
much does a can of oxygen run for?
don't let it scare you. I really, yes, it's a thing, but I think by the time you're here, like Jen said, by the time you're here for even, 12 to 16, 18 hours, your body kind of acclimates to it. But if you guys do need the
Okay.
oxygen, we have different sizes and there's different sizes of cans. And like the small one is like $9 and the big one is like 15 or something like that. And that would last you all weekend if you needed it really, because there's a lot. You
Oh,
wouldn't
okay.
think there's that much oxygen in those little cans, but there actually is.
Well, I'm just kind of wondering too, because I'm judging and my daughter will be shooting by herself, and judges don't uh judge in the area where they've got, a child, or they call it a conflict. And so I'm thinking, do I buy her a can to keep it with her just in case? Or,
Right.
I'm so glad we're having this talk, because I didn't know there was such a thing.
Yeah, and according to the layout, it looks like our booth is going to be right there on the field. So we have big flags and stuff. It'll say Hit or Miss Archery Center. We'll be pretty easy to find. Just come see us and we'll help you guys out.
well, I'll
Very
be
cool.
there.
All right.
Yes. Well, I know, but I mean, do the kids all shoot at different times and everything? So that's what her middle management coach asked her yesterday was, are you going to be flying solo again? Is mom judging this one? And she's like, yes.
She's
All right.
fine.
So she's fine. I only have two kids, and I'm um very much a worrier. So I always worry, okay, what if something goes wrong? And where is she? Who's with her? Is she, she's a social butterfly and all those kinds of things. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the schedule. So what I have is that Tuesday is open practice. Anybody can go from 9 to 12 or from 1 to 4. And it takes me a little bit longer because the 13 to 16, the military time, the 24-hour concept just makes me have to do some addition right there. Then Wednesday is going to be official practice and equipment and inspection on the competition fields, again 9 to 12, and then 1 to 4. And then they've got the kickoff social at Sid Cutter Pilots Pavilion.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know
right.
if you.
Yeah.
Okay. And do y'all know anything about the kickoff? What that's going to look like?
I don't. Do you, Jen?
No, I don't. I'm not. Yeah, I don't know.
Looks like it's going to be from 6 to 8. So that is going to be something. I have never attended a kickoff social. I don't know that I'm ever going to get to. Normally, we're trying to prepare for the next day because the next morning is recurve and barebow men, compound and fixed pins women, and that starts at 8 o'clock with 3 ends of practice, and then it goes into qualifications. And then that afternoon, again, 3 ends of practice, and then qualifications for recurve and barebow women, and then compound and fixed pins men. That's why Joe was like, I don't know that you're going to be there when she's there, because the guys and the girls are split up on their times.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I have one recurve and one compound, right? So I'm going to be there all day long anyway.
Oh, wait, did I say? Oh, yeah, recurve men. That's right. Micah is recurve. Yes, I was just thinking men and all at the same time. So, yep, you're right. You are going to be there all day. Hey, join the club, Joe. I'll be there all day too. Jen, Neil, y'all going to be there all day?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we're all going to be there all day. We're all going to be super tired by the time this is over.
Yes.
So then Friday goes into qualification for recurve and barebow women, compound and fixed pin men. And then in the afternoon, of course, it always flips, where we've got recurve and barebow men and compound and fixed pins women. And then Saturday will be eliminations. In the morning, it's going to have recurve and barebow men and compound and fixed pins women. And then the afternoon, because again, it flipped, recurve and barebow women, compound and fixed pins men. And then Sunday is going to have the optional team rounds at 8 o'clock in the morning. Do you guys like the team rounds?
They are actually
It's the
pretty
best
fun to
part.
watch. Yeah, it's everybody cheering and screaming. I wish archery was more like that all the way around.
Yeah.
Oh, last year everybody was singing at that time. It was so fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
We so I'm quite loud. My kids started out in swimming. My son still, he has gone strictly swimming, and my daughter is now strictly archery. But swimming is loud. You yell, you scream. Your kids can't hear you in the water, but you yell and scream. Our very first archery practice, we went and my daughter hit the X, and at that time I didn't know much. I called it the bullseye, and I'm like, woohoo! Everybody turned around and was like, what are you doing? And so embarrassed, but I've learned now it's more of a quiet sport. But you're right, except when it comes to team rounds, and then it's like a total different sport.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh,
so
yeah,
we're
actually,
excited.
when we were at Pan Am, it was totally different. You see all those like people
Rifles?
cheering, and oh yeah, it was screaming, cheering for their own country. It was, it's so fun to watch. Yeah, I'm not
All
sure about the
right.
archer on the line, but like the folks in the the folks in the back was having so much fun cheering for their own archers.
That's how it should be.
Nice. Yeah. I'm like, I used to do sports and events marketing for a newspaper, and I got to go to the basketball games, to the hockey games, and all those kinds of things, and everything was loud, but no, archery has not been. So yeah, I would like for it to be a little louder. All right. And I'm sure USA Archery would be like, no, what are you doing, Wendy?
Right.
Okay. So some of the things that, and I love that USA Archery did put this in their publication, the the event brochure that came out, and it has things to do in Albuquerque, and it says family friendly activities. So it says something about an Explore Science Center and Children's Museum, Electric Playhouse. Oh wow! New
Explorer is
Mexico
pretty cool.
Museum,
I have not been to Electric Playhouse, but the Explorer place is pretty neat.
and it says it's got plenty of hands-on activities.
Oh
It
yeah.
does.
Yeah.
And it says family members of all ages will entertain everybody.
Yep, for sure.
Oh, I love that. And it looks like that Electric Playhouse is like a gaming kind of thing.
Yeah, I've never been there. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
that
like
one
real
sounds like,
hands-on too. It's like there's like screens and stuff like on the floor and on the wall. And I don't know exactly because I've never been there either, but I've had people tell me like you stomp on the floor, touch the floor, and it like changes. Like it's like games you can play and then on the wall as well, but I'm not exactly sure.
oh my goodness, that sounds like where your kids would want to go, Joe.
Yeah, I was taking a look at the activities, and they look so fun.
Yeah. New Mexico Museum of Natural History and Science. That's my kind of thing right there.
And
American
that's
International Rattlesnake Museum. International Rattlesnake Museum. Oh, do you guys have rattlesnakes? Is that something? So should we be looking for the critters on the fields?
not on the field, but we do have rattlesnakes here.
Okay, well, we have rattlesnakes here too, and but I know that whenever we shoot in Arizona, they're around. You can see them
Right. Yeah.
more frequently. So scorpions.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do, but again, not I've never seen any critters on that field before. But
Oh, okay. I'm
another thing
so
that you might want
thankful.
to think of though is bug spray. The other night when we were out there for practice, there was definitely some bugs and those little gnats flying around.
Ah, okay, good to
Mosquitoes.
know because I was
Good
thinking
one.
it's dry. Are you kidding me? Mosquitoes in Albuquerque? No way.
Yeah.
We do have a river.
Ah, I thought I was gonna get away from them.
I'm sorry. Hey, but you know what? You are going to get away from his hurricanes. We won't have those here
It's
for you.
true.
Sweet. I know. I'm like, my mom just said, hey, I'm looking at buying property in Magnolia, and there's 12 acres beside the property that we're looking at. We could all just move there. Be farther away. I'm like, I don't know. They didn't have power either. So,
Mhm.
oh my goodness. Yes,
We do have
no
an amusement
hurricanes in
park as
Albuquerque.
well. We have it's called Cliffs Amusement Park. It's right here in the middle of town.
In the middle of town?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like right in the pretty much in the
Nice.
middle of Albuquerque. It's got of course the rides, but it also has like a small little water
Mhm.
thing that's kind of cool. Like a little water
Oh,
park.
people could go and cool off there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Nice. Like an Albuquerque or ABQ, so I'm assuming Albuquerque Biopark. I don't know
Yes.
what that is.
That's what they call it's the zoo. We have an aquarium, a
Okay.
garden, and they call it Tingley Beach. It's like a little lake thing that people fish at. So all four of those combined are the biopark. So there's a lot of
Nice.
good. So
Wow, that's pretty nice.
So
I know my kids should definitely want to visit.
yeah.
yes, I know. I'm looking at that going, wow, I'm gonna miss out on some things. Hinkle Fun Center.
Yeah, that's pretty cool
All
too.
right.
It's got putt and go-karts and arcade, laser tag.
Yeah.
All right. And then let's see. And then how do you say that tramway? How do you pronounce that? Sandia?
Sandia.
Sandia or Sandia or Sandia?
Sandia.
Sandia. Okay. Sandia Park Aerial Tramway. Yes, people were telling me about that. Okay, now I'm going to ask you something kind of serious, especially for those of us who are driving. Now, whenever there were, and there's, mind you, we're from the Houston area, so crime happens, and crime happens everywhere. I actually live an hour south of Houston. It's a small town. We still have crime in this area. But some people were scared of coming to Albuquerque because of crime. They said like the balloon park is a high crime area.
I don't really think that the balloon park area is a high crime area, honestly. I mean, yeah, if you're used to Houston, it's gonna be very similar here in Albuquerque. And when you talk about crime in Albuquerque, it's not so much like the violent crimes, it's more of like your car getting broken into and stuff taken. That happens every year during Balloon Fiesta. It's all over the news. Oh, so and so from out of town or out of the country, they got their vehicle broken into and their balloon got stolen. So, um, I think as long as you're, just aware of that, and then where you're parking, and just make sure if it's possible to leave your bow somewhere where it could be locked up, like in your hotel room or something, and not leave it in your car, which we all know that that's not a good idea anyway in a hot car anyway. But
Right.
yeah, just
I
put that stuff
always have
away
my
and don't
daughter
leave it.
take hers out.
For sure. Yeah,
Okay.
just don't leave that stuff in the car. I mean, I don't think anybody should be afraid. I mean, if you're used to driving around Houston and parking in Houston and going
Right.
shopping, and it's the same thing in Albuquerque. There are some different parts of town that probably aren't as safe, but it's definitely not close to Bloom Fiesta Park.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Just stay on the right side of town.
Right.
Don't go where you shouldn't be and you will be fine.
Right. And all those touristy places, they're not in a bad part of town either.
All right, Joe, what are some questions from a parent? And so I asked questions, from parent and judge standpoint. Joe, from a parent and coach standpoint, we kind of talked about the layout and how that would look for a coach reaching all the different fields. You're feeling pretty good about that. What other kind of questions or topics?
Yes, actually, I do have a question from a lot of the parents asking me, as we are talking about, driving. How's the traffic like? Because we do have some, early shoots and late afternoons, and at times, actually, I remember in Decatur, there were thunderstorms. We had to delay the game several times with heat index, and then that go into late at night. So, driving around town, and any tips about traffic, and, I'm sure a lot of parents will be interested in.
Definitely.
The cool thing about Albuquerque really is we've got the main, again, Balloon Fiesta Park is right off of I-25. So that's the main, interstate coming right through town, and then I-40 is coming through the other direction. But it's not real difficult to get to Balloon Fiesta Park from anywhere in town. And occasionally there's an accident on I-25 or something like that, but the side roads will all take you there and get you there. So just depending on where you're staying, it shouldn't take you, like I live 25 minutes south of Albuquerque, and from my house I could be at Balloon Fiesta Park in 35, 40 minutes. Even in moderate traffic. I go to work every day, and I leave my house around 8 o'clock, and I'm at the shop, or I leave my house around 9 o'clock, and I'm usually at work, which at 9:20, 9:25, which isn't, so the traffic usually not too bad, but your occasional accident or whatever, it can get a little crazy. And depending on where you're staying, if you could stay closer to Balloon Fiesta Park, like if you could stay on the northern side of Albuquerque, I would say north of I-40. If you guys can stay north of I-40, you'll be at Balloon Fiesta Park, no problem. The traffic shouldn't cause too much of an issue.
Yeah, I know a lot of the parents actually reserve the hotel around the airport, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, the airport is going to be south of I-40. So the airport is basically as far south as you can go in Albuquerque, and Balloon Fiesta Park is about as far north as you can go in Albuquerque. So I would definitely recommend staying a little bit further north, unless you just really want to stay next to the airport. The airport area is a good area. And you wouldn't have any problems over there, I don't think, with like crime. Knock on wood. I don't want to say that and then something happened, but it is farther from Balloon Fiesta Park. That would be like the farthest. Those hotels over there would be the farthest away you could be from Balloon Fiesta Park.
All right. Well, that sounds pretty cool. That was good information because, yes, we deal with Houston traffic quite often and get stuck in that traffic. And it'd take me an hour and a half to get to the shop and to the range on a regular basis. So, well, you guys have given us great information. We thank you so much. So happy to talk to you. Can't wait to see you next week. And that is going to be all for this episode of Raising an Archer.